That's what it's all about. You know, you want your team absolutely primed for the playoffs. This couldn't be a better game for the Auckland Stars, because one of the things they need to do is play against some top quality competition. And defensively, the Heat are going to be in their face all night long. So I'm expecting Kenny to do something a little bit different that maybe we won't see in the playoffs, but it'll condition his players for what they do need later on in the competition.
Well, they certainly do have their own style, the Harbour Heat. It's up-tempo and in your face, as you say. One of the matchups is going to see this young guard, Jared Kenny. Tab Baldwin obviously likes him. He's called him into the Tall Black squad. He's going up against Lindsay Tate. How about that matchup?
Well, I don't know if it's going to be a major matchup, because like one of the things, the matchups I like is the forward lineups. You know, are Auckland going to dominate the Heat inside? Because we all know that the Heat don't have the height. So, you know, that's what you were talking about before. Can the Stars dominate inside? Sure, Jared Kenny's going to go up against someone like Lindsay Tate, a young gun, against another young gun. But, you know, I think it's all going to be inside tubes, and the team that can dominate inside is going to be the team that wins. And I think Auckland will do that.
So you're picking Auckland. Well, I think I'd have to agree with you there. Auckland, they've put some pretty good wins together lately. Time now, though, to check out the team sheets for tonight's round 13 clash.
Well, thanks, Chris. And one of the most interesting matchups of the night is the coaching duel. New to New Zealand is Steve Doan, and he's up against a veteran, Kenny Stone, who always has a good game plan. And checking the starting lineups for the Heats, they've got a small, hustling lineup with players like King, Charlton, and Lotich. And for the Stars, they're full of tall blacks and breakers with Boucher, Frank, Homick, Olsen, and franchise player Lindsay Tate. And on the bench, Steve Doan's going to have to get a lot of mileage out of players like Ryan, Cartwright, and Flavel. And for the Stars, Glenn Joel got a lot of court time, and get this. Kenny Stone has the luxury of bringing in an import player from the bench, Kareem Johnson.
Primo brings you tonight's matchup between the Auckland Stars, Waitakere, and the North Harbour Heat. Primo fueling the game.
Well, the referees tonight, Dallas Pickering on the left, Kevin Pugh in the middle, and Peter Harrison on the right. A good trio. And Jeff Green, I think one of the features of this game is going to be the coaching matchup between Ken Doan, new boy on the block, and Kenny Stone, who's actually, I think, coming more and more into his own as one of the best strategists in the game.
I totally agree with you, Bob. I think it is a great coaching matchup. And it's good for two reasons. One, it's good for Kenny Stone and the Auckland Stars because they're virtually guaranteed a playoff spot. But it's also good for that man on screen, Coach Steve Doan, because, like, you know, it's been a baptism of fire. You know, he came here not knowing the league, not knowing the players, not sort of having a team that you would want to pick yourself. And it's been a tough assignment for him. To his credit, he's done very, very well. And as you say, Kenny Stone is growing in stature as a coach.
Right. Well, Chris Tupu, a couple of changes in the Heat lineup as a former tall black guard. Tell me what this means for them. Hayden Allen, a key spark plug of the team, hasn't played for weeks. But into his place comes Brent Charlton, the Kiwi Canadian who just sort of arrived on the scene. What do they give up and what do they gain with that little switch?
Well, I think losing Hayden to that quadricep injury in round 5, I think it was, that was critical for them. I mean, he was getting a number of points. He was getting a number of steals. He was contributing in a lot of different ways. I think Charlton, he's sort of come to this team known as a shooter, as a bit of a scorer, and as yet we haven't sort of seen what else he can bring to the table. So, you know, but definitely losing Hayden was a huge loss for this Harbour Heat side. And, you know, I mean, Hayden was having a terrific season up till that injury.
Well, that's right. Tough luck for the young man. But interesting matchup. I think it's do or die time for the Heat. They're 8-7. They've had a bit of a rough patch the last couple of weeks. And played one game less than the Stars, who seem to just be coming into their own, getting stronger as the season goes along. So this could be a real cracker. And remember, the Heat are 6-2 on their home court. This is considered to be their home court. Maybe that'll be a factor. Sometimes they say it's an 8-point advantage, Jeff Green.
Well, it's going to be they need that 8-point advantage, Bob, I believe, because, like, you know, if the Stars play intelligently, and when I mean intelligently, get the ball inside, just like they've done there, right there, Mike Homick, then they should win this game. But if they don't, the Heat will jump on you all over you.
Well, that's right. Once they penetrate inside, they've got to make the easy baskets, and they didn't that time. Lotich fires from a long way out.
Well, we know he's going to just, he's got no conscience. Matt Lottich, he's got pretty much a green light, and he'll shoot it. He'll put the ball in the air.
Well, that's a great comment. So it's like no conscience means that, he's got a major green light. It's fully green, all his lights. He's going to shoot the ball anytime he thinks he can shoot it, from wherever, Bob.
Yeah, that's right. I think Toops is working on a new book, Morality in Basketball. No conscience. Oh, a different kind of conscience. Aaron Olson with a steal for the Stars. Frank, who's been so strong for them recently, beats Boucher. And the first 2 points of the ball game go to the Stars. Big rebound from Boucher and a long pass ahead to Lindsay Tate. Now, Tate is playing with so much authority, and as I say that, the commentator's curse hits him and he throws it away. Cross-court pass from King, and Prem Krishna got it, and whoa.
Well, against a team like the Heat that like to shoot the ball, that's exactly the kind of hand in the face that you need. They have to contest the jump shots. Auckland Stars, they have to get a hand up.
Now the Heat are staying in a zone. And there's several mismatches out there because the Heat are much smaller size-wise. And Homick, as you said, Jeff, gets the inside ball, and this time he makes it.
They have to go there, and I believe that the Heat are looking differently at this Auckland Stars team because they know if they do get the ball inside, they have the mentality to go inside, they will lose. So it's going to be interesting defensively what the Heat keep up with.
It is early days, but already the Heat have missed their first 3 or 4 shots. And at the other end, the Stars have scored a couple, so it's 4-0.
Well, anytime you play against a zone, that kind of penetration that we'd see right there, Lindsay Tate kills a zone defense. You know that, Jeff, from experience. Anytime penetration, down the middle especially.
Sorry, for penetration.
Good shot. So Lindsay Tate on the free throw line, the first of 2 free throws. 2 minutes gone. Stars lead 4-0. Bit of a case of defensive hustle. A shorter team going against a taller team that can run. Tate can certainly run with the ball, but they can also slow it down and play very controlled. They've got the height to do it.
Yeah, and that last penetration by Lindsay Tate proved exactly that, they could keep it nice and quick. And the Stars' big men do actually run too, Bob, so that is a major bonus.
You're absolutely right. Lottich loses the ball on the dribble. Good defense from the Stars. Force a turnover. Can they capitalize on it? Aaron Olson gets it off the glass.
Well, there's a matchup that is going to be tough for the Heat because Charlton is going to have to guard the wings, and he's got guys like Aaron Olson and Lindsay Tate coming back at him full ball. But hey, we didn't see that the last time Charlton played on TV, and he did a great job offensively there. We know he can shoot the basketball. We've been told that. He had a shocker against the Bay Hawks a couple of weeks ago, but that was a nice rhythm shot.
And Charlton has just called for a blocking foul. He's trying to draw the charge out of Aaron Olson. He looked to be set, but I think he lowered his shoulder a bit in self-protection, and he picked up the foul. Homick has to kick it out. Inside it goes. Here's a good matchup. King against Homick. And King blocks a shot with Boucher, who's everywhere, as we know, every game. Still trying to get the steal off Mike King.
It's just lovely to watch Dylan Boucher when he's in that sort of mood, isn't it?
Which is most of the time he's on the court. And Lindsay Tate just weaves his way down the lane and delivers a pizza. 2 points.
Again, getting the job done on the dribble. Lindsay Tate, superb penetration.
Hands out, hands out.
Well, already the Stars are asserting a little bit of authority. They're looking defensively a little bit sharper. Charlton kicks it out to King. Nice pass. But again, the outside shooting, with one exception, the three-pointer from Charlton, has not been good. Boucher is going to be called for the foul from behind. Dallas Pickering makes the call.
You had a chat to him before the game, Jeff. What did he have to say?
Well, Coach Stone he really is a basketball junkie, a real nut in terms of basketball. He just loves the game, and he understands what needs to be done for this team to beat the Stars tonight. And you know, we've seen it. If they don't play well against the Auckland Bigs, it's going to be a long, long night for them.
And Charlton makes a nice little move, goes up for the shot, and Casey Frank smothers him, fouls him in the act.
Well, you see here, Fred Charlton took the ball to the basket. Casey Frank got a piece of it, and obviously his body got a piece of that. Fred Charlton goes to the line. He's been very aggressive offensively tonight, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. Charlton invited to the Tall Blacks camp. Possibly a new Tall Black there.
Well, it's one of his goals in the program here at the North Shore tonight. One of the goals he set himself is to become a Tall Black.
Well, we've got Tall Black coach Tab Baldwin here tonight, so you know, what better way to do than impress the man himself.
Well, there you see once again the value of Boucher. He gets the rebound. He makes a nice pass into Frank. And the Heat are having all kinds of problems with the rebounding, the offensive rebounding, which is in the guise of one player, Dylan Boucher. No surprise there.
Well, you talk about his passing. His assist figures are way up this season. Just under 4 assists a game for Dylan Boucher. That's in a swingman position. That's incredible.
So often he does the right thing at the right time. His hands are on the ball so often in the game. Making a steal, an assist, a pass, rebounding. Homick, turnaround jump shot, he's got it.
Yeah, but like, you know, if I was the Heat, I'd be happy with Mikey Homick's, you know, the beastie shooting that sort of range. Because, you know, no disrespect to Michael, but he's not going to win basketball games shooting jump shots. He'll kill you inside.
Well, the Stars make another steal.
There you go. That's what Michael Homick is going to do for you. Get offensive rebound and score on side. Now, when he does that, that's great. Jump shots are a bonus.
Yeah, I mean, he showed us this year, really, another aspect to his game. I think that his jump shot has actually improved this year, Mike Homick, without a doubt.
Well, he showed us that the other day, didn't he?
Yeah.
Where he hit a couple of threes to start the game.
Well, 5:25 to play in the first period. 13-4 already. The Stars in a pretty handy lead here. And Steve Doan laying down the law. Jeff said he was a coach with intensity. You only have to look in those eyes to see he's a basketball junkie.
Run 3 on offense right now. Jerry not doing the double team. Coming down the floor, we're going to trap you, stop the grab. We got it, John. Here, don't sprint. You're on the top. You're on the top. Press the... Let's go. Let's get after it. Pick it up. Defense, 1, 2, 3, defense.
Well, interesting contrast. There's Kenny Stone, a smile on his face, pretty relaxed. He likes the start his team has had here in this game, but Steve Doan really laying down the law.
Well, you know, as we said at the top of the show, Bob, the Heat, this is a must-win game. For Kenny Stone, sure, you don't want to lose at this end of the season, but this is not going to affect the Stars' chances terribly in terms if they lost. But for the Heat, it's a must-win. They lose tonight, and the chances of making the postseason are very, very slim. Almost gone.
Lotich went baseline, missed the shot. Rebounding power from the Stars evident there. And Tate spins baseline, tries to find Casey Frank, knocked out of bounds by Bracewell, number 12. He's getting a lot of court time here in the first period. Prem Krishner back on.
Sorry, Bob. Lindsay Tate took a bit of a knock there and ran straight into Dan Ryan. He's still seeing a couple of Stars.
Here's a mismatch. Homick against Prem Krishna. Shot wasn't good, but once again, Boucher saves the ball, and the Stars get another look.
Well, there's that jump shot. We see again from Homick, quite happy to take it, and looks like, you know, Kenny Stone, it's not as if he's going to not like that shot from him, as we see Dan Ryan score a basket, his first of the night.
Well, the Heat are trying to put a bit of full court pressure on. People weren't in the right position, and so the Stars were able to break it very easily. And again, another offensive board, and Tate launches a three, misses it. Too many times the Stars have had 2-3 shots at the basket. Krishna goes baseline, double team, kicks it out. Jared Kennedy passes up the three.
I thought Kenny walked then. Took a little bit of hop, skip, and a jump.
Well, there's 5 seconds on the shot clock, and I don't think he's aware of that. 2 seconds, 1 second, and Ryan has to launch it. Kenny recovers the ball.
It's good defense by the Stars to have Daniel Ryan shooting the three.
Lotic just not being left free, and Homick comes out, gets the block, but after the block, commits the body foul, and it's going to be 3 free throws for Lotic.
Well, that's the ultimate sin, isn't it? You can't foul a three-point shooter and give him. And here we go. We've got a good look at it. Lotic backs out past the three-point line, pulls up. Oh, yeah, Michael Homick has touched his arm. Touched the shooting iron. You can't touch a shooter's shooting iron, Bob.
That's right.
So good call by Gavin Few.
You only have to brush that elbow, that shooting elbow, and the ball can go anywhere. It's a subtle way to foul.
Well, one of the things you've got to like about this match is, you know, they've obviously done their scouting well, the Auckland Stars. I mean, it's round 13. So we know that Matt Lotic is a shooter. You know, I mean, he's been around for 12 games now, I think. Missed the first game, but I think every shot that he takes, they have to have a hand up. And Kenny Stone, I'm sure he's pounded that into his guys. Guys, if he's got the ball and he's 9 times out of 10, he's going to shoot it. You must get a hand up on him.
You're dead right, Chris, and you can see already that Lotic and Charlton is not in the game right now for the Heat. Both are being targeted by the Stars. Poucher slices down the lane and gets 2.
Inside layup. That's what it's all about for the Stars. Go inside. The game plan for Coach Kenny Stone, right to a tee, Bob.
Well, that's right. Here, now Lotic, you see, he's got super glue on him in the form of Dylan Boucher. That's a defensive blanket. And all you need around Lotic.
All you need is one drop. It's not going to come off.
Right. That's right.
Aaron Olsen switched back to Mark Lotic.
Lotic goes between 2 players from the free throw line, gets it just as the shot clock expires. Lotic scores 2 points. It's 17-11. 2:59, just under 3 minutes to play in the first period. Baseline, Casey Frank. Cartwright in the game. Lotic makes the steal. It goes off Lindsay Tate, so the Heat force a turnover.
Well, the Stars playing saying it didn't go off Lindsay. It went through his legs, but referees are quite adamant.
Lindsay never blinked an eye. He turned and walked to the other end of the floor. I think he knew the truth of the matter. He has a conscience. Kenny, marked by Tate. King coming high, trying to set a pick for the guard. Lotic now with the ball. Kareem Johnson jumps out to take him, and Boucher makes a steal. The ball is passed ahead to Tate. Yes, he's got it.
Well, fast break basketball, it's a great combination for the Stars. Good fast break basketball, and when you're in the half-court game, get the ball in low.
Yeah, the defense for the Stars has been solid. Just 27% from the field for this Harbour Heat in this first quarter. 3 of 11 shooting.
Cartwright went for the dunk and missed it. All he had to do was put it on the glass, and he would have had 2. Went for the big jam. Casey Frank is forced out of bounds. 54. Mike King picks up the foul.
Well, that's going to be critical for the Heat with Mike King, that man there, getting in foul trouble. He's not as big as the Auckland forwards, but gee, he plays good basketball. I love watching him.
Very steady. Not particularly tall, but very robust, very physical type of player. He's the kind of player who can stay with Casey Frank, with Homick. And the Heat force another steal. Krishna brings it over halfway. 19-11. Charlton back in the game. Misses his three-point attempt. Ball's on the floor, and the Heat get it. Another chance to put up a shot. Bracewell looking inside. Can't find Charlton. 10 seconds and counting down on the shot clock. Krishna into the lane. He's got two. Running one-handed.
Beautiful move from the chocolate rocket. Prem Krishna straight down the gut. Little teardrop. Beautiful stuff.
We know he can do that, don't we, Toops?
Yeah, and, you know, that was a...
And we know he can play defense like he's just done with Aaron Olsen.
Well, he's one of the league leaders in steals. And he's getting held back by Aaron Olsen. You see there, just pointing at the referee. Come on, man, he's got my arm.
Yeah, there's a lot of talking there. The referee was watching the whole thing, and after about 3 fouls, finally blew the whistle.
Prem Krishna, nice little high five or a low five with he and Aaron Olsen. They know they're competitors.
Yeah, there's good spirit here between these two teams. Very physical, but they both appreciate the play of the other team. Krishna into the lane. Misses the layup. And Kareem Johnson gets a rebound. The Stars walk it over halfway with Lindsay Tate controlling their offense. Now, Judd Flavel's in the game. He's man on man. No, he's not. I thought he was chasing Tate, man on man. Cassidy, 3 seconds on the shot clock, takes it down the lane and gets the two.
Again, great penetration there from the Auckland Stars. Cassidy this time down the middle with a layup.
Well, it's got to be disheartening. The defensive team holds the offense out for 21 seconds, and then somebody gets a layup just on the bell. Long pass ahead, but too late as time expires in the first period. It's a 21-13 lead to the Stars over the Heat. It's Tate scored early with a beautiful layup, Jeff Green. He's always going to feature in a Stars match.
He certainly is, but what I like about it is they're going in deep, the Auckland Stars, against this smaller lineup of the Heat. Having said that, the Heat also have the offensive weapon, and that guy there, Matt Lottich, he can shoot the ball.
Watch this move. 2 seconds on the shot clock, and Cassidy takes it to the rack. So at the end of 10 minutes of play, the Stars comfortably ahead, 21, the Heat 13. Point scores so far, you see there, Lodich 5 for the Heat. Homick, surprisingly, leading the Stars, 8 points. It's a good start for Mike Homick.
Well, it is a good start for Mikey Homick, but at the end of the day, though, Bob, when the game gets down on the line, I don't think you'll see Mike Homick taking those jump shots. He'll go inside.
Well, I think you're right. Some interesting stats here. The Heat shooting a shocking 25% from the floor versus 50% for the Stars. Now, with that kind of shooting, you'd think the Heat would be more than 7 points behind. They've only given up 21, so they're still in a ball game, and you wouldn't expect them to continue to shoot around the 25% mark.
No, and because they rely on their hustle and their defensive play, and to finish off those defensive efforts with easy baskets, you're absolutely right. You don't expect them to be able to shoot that cold for the whole game. And they will heat up, no doubts about it.
Well, the other thing the Heat are going to have to be conscious of, Chris Tupu, is the Stars are out-rebounding them in 10 minutes of play, 16-6. That is a tremendously big spread early on in the ballgame.
Well, it is, and it's too big, really. They just have to get more help from guys like Bracewell. You know, Krishna, maybe he needs to step in there. They've got to be careful. They've still got to have safety back because this Auckland side does like to get out and run the break. So they have to all collectively get in and get on the glass.
And they're going to have to some way of getting their shooters free for good looks at the basket. Krishna gets one there and knocks it down. That's what they need, that half second to cock the gun and fire it.
And Prem Krishna will be able to nail that when he's left open for that amount of time.
Glenn Joe on the court, along with Cassidy for the Stars. Kareem Johnson, that patented jumping hook shot, turnaround hook shot. It's a nice little shot.
Yeah, it's a nice shot, and it's within range. You know, it's inside the keyhole, just maybe a foot outside. You know, that's what it's all about. And the Stars are playing the game plan for the coach perfectly, Bob. You couldn't ask the Stars to play a better game plan right now.
No, it's all going according to plan, I'm sure. Tate kicks it out to Cassidy, who goes baseline. Lindsay Tate, and he's fouled before he gets up the shot. I doubt if the shot's going to count. Nope. Ball will be taken out of bounds under the basket.
Got great balance, Lindsay Tate. See, just making a baseline move here against Mike King.
Well, I saw it. I don't know if you saw it too, but Lindsay actually stepped out of bounds.
I think they were claiming that King actually pushed him out of bounds. Forced out. Lodic makes the steal. One-on-one against Tate, and Tate gives him the reverse layup. That's a nice little move.
Well, it was a smart move. Sorry, Jeff, he used the rim to protect himself from getting blocked. Matt Lodic.
Yeah, Lodic pretty cagey there, and Tate gave him the 2. He wasn't going to get a foolish foul and give up a possible three-point play from the corner. G.I. Joe.
And Joe, well, you know, Glenn Joe will hit that outside jumper if given the opportunity.
All Black squad member.
Flavel in trouble. He's dribbled it to the baseline. Had to go up with it. 5 seconds. You can hang on to the basketball when you're guarded, and if you can't make a pass, it's a turnover. And Flavel knew the clock was ticking. (25-18). Stars over the Heat. Crosstown battle here. Cassidy into the lane. Barges into Mike King, and gets a foul for his effort.
The referees agree with that here. That was the appropriate wording, Bob. He did barge straight into Mike King, and we see it here. Reese Cassidy thought he could go down the lane like he did last time and walk straight into Mike King. That was an easy call.
Indeed. King saw him coming, set his feet, took the charge, and the turnover ball goes the Heat's way. 25-18. 7:40 left to play in the first half. Good crowd here at the North Shore Events Center. Ryan gives it up. Krishna into the corner, and Casey Frank, the big man, staying with him, and Boucher causing mayhem again. Lodic floating on the baseline, and he stings like a butterfly.
Well, Dylan Boucher reminds me of Auckland traffic. Creates mayhem.
It's a bit like what it was coming in from the airport today.
Tell me about it.
1 hour 45 to get from the airport to North Shore. Don't you love Auckland? 25-20. Heat with a little bit of a rally here, Chris Tupu coming back.
Well, as bad as they've sort of played, they're still right in this game. Oh, here we go. Tate up by 8 now, Auckland Stars. They were still kind of in touch, though. I mean,
they're always going to be in touch, though, aren't they, too? Because like they're a team that all of a sudden can get a couple of quick baskets on you if you don't watch it, and they'll always do that.
They can score in bunches. There's no doubt about that.
What's interesting watching the Heat, all of their play comes out around the perimeter. They're not able to penetrate inside. And over the span of 40 minutes of basketball, that's going to hurt them, I think. Whereas the Stars are penetrating. They've got the height and size, and there's one of the guys, Casey Frank, who can hurt them inside, although he misses that shot. Lodic saves the ball, almost goes out of bounds. Now it goes down to King on the baseline, who spins, puts up a little hook shot. Good move.
Well, that's what we expect from Mike King. A no-nonsense, solid post move, scoring over Kareem Johnson.
Yeah, that's meat and potatoes shot. Blue-collar stuff.
You like that, Bob, don't you?
I do indeed, Jeff.
Well, being from Detroit, you'd expect Bob to like the blue-collar stuff, wouldn't you?
You always have to admire a good lug nut.
Well, Flavel catches Johnson across the arm. It'll count, says Gavin Hugh. And Johnson to the line for a bonus.
Yeah, Jeff, Miami found out just how beautiful Russ cannot be at times as the Pistons
I was waiting for
corroded
them. Yeah, I was waiting for you to bring that up, Bob. But your Pistons didn't do too well in game 1 against the Spurs.
Oh, did you have to tell me that? I haven't watched it yet.
That's right, he hadn't seen the game.
I haven't heard that. The Heat with the rebound. 30-22, 8-point spread still. And Charlton back in the game and scores off the fast break. The Heat beginning to play themselves into the game a little bit more here. Transition game beginning to be a little bit more effective than it was in the first period.
Well, the season's on the line for them. I didn't expect them to get blown out straight away. And I don't expect them to get blown out at all, to be honest.
No, I think you're right. Boucher, nice feed to Homick, and he's fouled over the back by Ryan, Dan Ryan, number 21.
Well, it's what Toops just said before, wasn't it? That Dylan Boucher, everyone says he's a great defender, etc., but they forget that he can pass the basketball. And this is a great example here. Look, the Stars move it around. Dylan Boucher sees the lane, gets in. That's a beautiful little pass.
Off to Perth.
Classic, and all Homick had to do was go reverse layup, and he had two. Instead, he came back, jumped into Ryan, who was right behind him. And he makes the first free throw. Here's the second to come.
Well, the Beastie's got a new look. Hasn't helped his free throw shooting, though.
Kenny back in the ball game for the Heat.
Steve Doan mixing his players up very well. Charlton gets the ball at the top of the key. Now he's claiming he was fouled. Threw a bit of a brick. He's marked by Boucher. Boucher shadowing him. King took steps long before he put up the shot.
Yep, referees agree.
Good call. Mike King, if you could see it as we're seeing it now.
Well, right about there. I think that's when he picked up his bus ticket.
That's right.
There was no conductor to take it, though. Said, no, you have to get off and walk.
That's right. Do it again. So Glenn Joe over halfway, 31-24, 4 minutes, 31 seconds to play in the first half. Kareem Johnson, big dunk. Whoa.
Oh, well, there you go. That's the dominance of the Auckland big men starting to come through. And you see it. Another power forward. Mike Homick passing off to his other forward. And Kareem Johnson knows what to do with that close to the basket, Toops.
Yeah. Well, his eyes lit up when he got that ball.
All right, 4:31, timeout taken. The Stars 31 lead. You see the scores there. Lodich on 9 now, and Homick still leading the Stars. That free throw, he's got 9 points. Tate starting to figure in the game. And here's Steve Doan, the coach of the North Harbour Heat.
1, 2, 3, 3.
Well, you see an interesting statistic there, Chris Tupel. Already the Heat have committed 9 turnovers. That's expensive, very expensive in basketball. And we still got 4.5 minutes to play in the first half.
Well, it is, and especially turning the ball over against a side as polished as the Stars. Because when they are on the break, they, they spread the ball around, and they've got a number of people that can finish well. So, got to take care of the rock, North Harbour.
The free throw from Johnson. 34-24, 10-point spread now. The Heat have to score. There's a 10-point break, and just gone a little bit quiet, I think. Every time they get a fast break, the Stars come right back at them, level it up, and go ahead. Now, King misses a little hook shot. And Boucher brings it over halfway. Glenn Joe, nice spin in the lane. Nice feed again.
There's Kareem Johnson is having his way with the forwards from the Heat, and that's because of penetration and good interior passing by the Auckland Stars.
Oh, the passing inside is so slick.
Glenn Joe that time with the dime, making it easy for Kareem Johnson.
Lodich coming off a couple of picks, but he's immediately picked up by Boucher. Aaron Olsen makes the steal, and the Heat beginning to crumble here, being the wilt. 36-24, 12-point spread. Olsen gives it out to Homick. Back to the top it goes. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Now the Stars moving the ball around the perimeter very nicely. Homick ends up with a three-point shot, and he drops it.
Well, he's feeling it. Mike Homick steps outside beyond the arc. First three-pointer of the game for him.
Well, that's one of the things that Mikey Hommick has worked on this season. That's his jump shot, and at his size, you need to be able to shoot that jumper consistently.
Definitely. I think that's a great job from Mike Hommick if he's been working on his outside shot. You see a foul call.
Yeah, Mike King coming down the lane, trying to get that rebound over the back call, and he goes to 3 fouls. That's a crucial foul on the big guy, for the biggest player in the Kings lineup. And he's not big when you compare him with guys like Hommick and Frank.
I know, isn't that silly when you say someone 6'6", 6'7" is not big?
That's right. Such is the game of basketball.
Such is the game of basketball.
So Daryl Cartwright immediately replaces him. Mark Bracewell in the lineup for the Heat. And on the line, Mike Hommick.
Well, just going back to the, shooting of the outside shooting of someone like Mike Hommick. Internationally, that's going to help his, career if he's going to play internationally big time. If he's able to step outside and hit the jumper.
You're absolutely right, Chris. And once again, the Stars make a steal. Hommick, little double pump, misses a shot, gets his own rebound, and gets the 2.
Well, he certainly has shown his versatility tonight, hasn't he? With the outside jumpers, and we know that he's a beast inside, and he's been able to do that effectively as well.
Hommick is playing so much better than he did even at the beginning of the season. He's showing many, many more dimensions to his game than he did back then. And Mark Bracewell knocks one down from three-point land.
I was just going to say that one of the things that the Heat have been hamstrung by is the fact that their shooting hasn't been good, Bob. And once their shooting improves, their defense will kick in. So, this game is by no means, even though the Stars have a 13-point lead, by no means is it over.
Oh, it's not over at all. The Heat's shooting percentage, Jeff, just in case you didn't know, has crept up to 37%. But the Stars have increased their percentage from 50% at the end of 10 minutes. They're now shooting just under 60%. That's tough for the Heat. They've got to stop the Stars, and they've got to start making a few of those threes. Heat retain possession. 1:59 left in the first half. Judd Flavel at point guard. And they keep looking for Lodish, but he's got that super glue on him. Dylan Boucher taking care of him. 10 seconds and counting down on the shot clock. Daryl Cartwright puts it up from the three-point line and throws air. Bracewell couldn't handle the ball, and it goes over to the Stars. It's got to be disappointing for the Heat. Bit of a meltdown here.
Oh, and Kareem Johnson adds insult to injury by putting up the little 16-footer.
Well,
it didn't even look like missing, Bob.
It didn't. 42-27. We got a 15-point spread. This is crucial. Hey, the big shot from Lodish. Cuts it to 42-30 with 1 minute to play here in the first half. Flavel almost making the steal out front. Boucher inside, kicks it out to Johnson, gives it to Aaron Olsen. Yeah, predictable.
Isn't that the quality of this Auckland Stars team? We have not mentioned Aaron Olsen a heck of a lot in this commentary, and yet he's a great tall black, he's a breaker, and he's a quality basketball player.
Well, that's right. We just have to mention the quality of the defensive block from Hommick there. Pinned the ball on its way up on the glass and started a fast break, but they couldn't finish it off as Johnson lost the ball as he fell down, and the Heat will get it. 33 seconds left to play in the first half, and they're looking at a 15-point deficit.
Well, Kareem Johnson, he couldn't believe that he was laying on the ground and nothing was said. People just walked over and said, get up, keep playing.
Lodish fakes, goes inside, misses a shot, and Bracewell saves it. Prem Krishna gets a very good look, but couldn't put it down. He follows it in, and off the Lodish follow-up gets the 2 points.
Well, and that's the thing the Heat do, don't they? They keep at you. They keep nipping at your heels like a little fox terrier.
Boucher launches it, almost goes in at the buzzer. It's halftime, 20 minutes of play. And the Stars lead 45-32 over the Heat. And Jeff, The Heat have got a lot of work to do in the second half. One of the things, if their scorers could get free like Charlton and Lotic a little bit more to set up for those three-point bombs, they might hit a better percentage and bring them back into the ballgame.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Bob. And the key for the Heat is really their offensive output. But like, you know, Kenny Stone there, he's got to be very happy with the way they're going, because like, you know, this man here, Mikey Hommick, you know, he's been able to go inside. He's been able to shoot jumpers. He's been very good.
Oh, indeed he has. Hommick has just played a great first half. Nice shooting from Hommick.
Mike Hommick's 13-point lead at halftime. How important is your defense in this game?
It's very important. Harbour runs well, they score well, they've got good shooters. They're lacking size, but they're very good scorers, and defense is a big key in this game.
And for you, Mike, offensively, you know, you're getting into your stride this season. Mate, your jump shot's looking fantastic. How do you feel?
I feel great. I'm trying to work on my game in all areas, not just getting big, but hitting jumpers or outside game, everything actually, so working hard.
And second half, more of the same from the Stars?
Yeah, I hope so. Hopefully we can get it to a 30-point lead by the end of the game, so we need these 2 wins this and next week, but firstly this one.
Good job in the first half, Mike, and best of luck in the second one, buddy.
And thanks, Toops. Cheers, much.
Thanks, buddy.
Well, it's halftime, and already the Stars have a 45-30.
Mark Dickel, or against Mark Dickel. How was that for you, mate?
I really enjoyed it, Chris. You know, it was great to be coaching again. You know, I got into a real professional environment, first time really in that professional environment, and very challenging, and just an awesome league to be in, and looking forward to going back next year.
And you kept your team out of the playoffs. They were, out of the relegation. They were going to get relegated, and you managed to keep them in there?
Yeah, it's kind of a funny thing to talk about. I mean, normally we talk about trying to get championships and things like that, but first year in first division for our team, and, you know, the big objective was to stay in first division, and we managed to do that. I don't know whether that's bragging rights or what, but, you know, we were real happy that we achieved that, and looking forward to next year.
Okay, back in NZ now. Oceania Series just around the corner. How have you been spending your time?
Been around the country. I think 3 days after I arrived back, I got in my Jeep and drove down to the South Island and watched a couple of games, watched the game in Wellington, watched the game in Nelson. You know, obviously here tonight, looking at as many players as we can, and we've made our selection for the trial camp, and from there we'll pick our squad to go to China, and then onward toward the Aussies in August.
And tonight you've seen some good stuff out here on court?
Yeah, really impressed. You know, the intensity is great. I think the defense that Auckland's playing is very good. Harbour always gives good, you know, great effort this year. Steve Dunn's got them playing real hard. And so far, a real entertaining game. And, you know, some of the players are doing well.
Well, enjoy the second half, Tab, and good luck in that series against Australia.
Thanks, Toops.
Welcome back, Tab, and first half highlights. Now you pick it. There's a reason for the 13-point lead at halftime. Check the passing for the Stars.
Well, that's been the highlight of the Stars' effort tonight, other than their defense, as Coach Tab Waldron said. You know, their interior passing has been great. And unfortunately, it's been sporadic shooting by the Heat there. But look at this. All the way down the lane, Bob. You just can't afford to let the Auckland Stars go down that easy.
And here's where you'll see the Stars just sort of dominate inside. Watch the slick passing. Krishna hits three. Lotic on a nice breakaway layup here. And now the Stars will come into it. Tate with a three. And Johnson will finish off with a couple of two-pointers, but look at the passing inside. Boom.
The interior passing of the Auckland Big Ben. That was Mike Hommick, and this one's Glenn G.I. Joe, the point guard, into Kareem Johnson. And the big men for the Stars have really done their work, haven't they? They've been able to dominate inside, and they've been able to shoot the little jumpers in around 15, 16 feet away from the basket, and that's what you want from your big men. The other thing is, the Heat really have to up their shooting percentage, Bob. Otherwise, this could be a very, very long night. And this is a game they have to win to stay in it.
Well, you're right, Chip. Chris has got a comment coming here.
Yeah, I think the shooting percentage has been kept really low because of the defense that the Auckland Stars have come out and played in this first half. And Lotic, he needs some help. Players like Krishna, Charlton, you know, they really have to get into the scoring mode, I believe, and get double figures to be effective in this half, they must get about 3 or 4 of the Heat players in double figures.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. And we're just checking the halftime statistics. And really, the Stars lead in all the critical categories. Shooting percentage, 61 versus 35% for the Heat. They've got more rebounds, 23 total versus 15 for the Heat. They got more steals. That is, they've made 10 turnovers, committed 10 turnovers, forced 10 turnovers against the Heat. Have only given the ball up 7 times themselves, and they've got more points off the turnovers, 17-6. The Heat have a lot of work to do, but with all of that, Jeff Green, they're still only 13 points down. It's anybody's ball game if the Heat warm up.
Well, the Heat have to warm up, and essentially they've got to score. But we know they can score in bunches. But that's going to be a long night if they let Casey Frank and the other big men work that easy inside.
Well, the start very much like the first period when Homick missed a sitter. Casey Frank misses a little hook shot there, and goes to Charlton, kicks it out. And the Heat have to work so hard, even to get free for a 3. Charlton goes to the hoop, bangs into Homick, no call. And Krishna makes a steal at halfway. Kicks it back out. Charlton set, can't make that 3-pointer still.
Well, he hit one in the first half, and then he's gone absolutely stone cold.
Lotich against Boucher. Boucher into Tate. Tate, little head fake, and he floats along the baseline, and he's going to be fouled by Jared Kenny.
Well, Toops, you said at the beginning of the show, you asked me whether that was going to be a great matchup. And I said I don't believe that it was a great match, even though Jared Kenny could possibly be the young player of the year. He is in the voting, and you know, I'd vote for him as young player of the year. But Lindsay Tate, even though he's a youngster himself, has just got so much more experience.
Well, he has indeed, and I think Jared Kenny, you know, he's obviously a player that's been earmarked for the future. And Tab Baldwin and Nenad, they still want him in that squad, as we see Homick continue to fire.
Yeah, Homick is just playing so well. Homick now leads all scorers. He's got 15. Johnson, who came off the bench for the Stars, has 11. Lotich leads the Heat with 12, and he's had to work double hard for those 12 points. Krishna misses a running one-hander. The foul is going to be called against Aaron Olson, I believe. Just check that.
I think it might have been on Casey Frank.
The result is the Heat retain possession. Krishna will inbound the ball. But if they get 47-32, down by 15, yet to score, a minute and a half gone in the second half, and the Heat are throwing bricks.
Well, you know, and when someone like Prem Krishna is getting some time to shoot the ball, it's not making it, you know it's going to be a long night at the office.
Olsen sets up and knocks down the 3.
Well, and we just say the Heat are cold, but, you know, Aaron Olsen, we haven't said a lot about his name at the moment, but, you know, he comes in and just nails the 3. Cool as a cucumber.
Shooting Stars. 50-32, 18 points the lead. It's gone from 13 to zip 18. And the Heat under real pressure now. Lotich double-teamed every time he gets the ball. King muscles it to the hoop, misses a shot, but Lotich, with just sheer hustle, gets the ball.
Well, 24-second shot clock violation.
Just standout defense from the Stars.
That's not a good look. Casey Frank's just gone to the bench with a sore ankle. He is limping badly. Dave Harrison, the physio for the Auckland Stars, is having a look at him. Kenny Stone showed a lot of concern there as his big man went to the bench. That would be devastating for the Stars.
Absolutely a key player for the Stars.
He's still in pain, Casey Frank, on the bench.
Now Homick muscling it to the hoop, throws it at the glass, and it rebounds into the basket.
Yeah, Mikey Homick, hasn't he done a great job? But, you know, but other than his inside game, I like the versatility too. That's what has impressed me about Michael Homick, his versatility that he's shown today.
He has shown us a number of things this season.
Welcome back. 52-32 the lead. 20 points now. It was 13 at halftime. It was 7 at the end of the first quarter. And the Heat have called a timeout, and they dearly, sorely need one. Their shooting percentage way down, 32% now you see there. 4 of 15 three-point attempts. They're just stone cold, Jeff.
Well, they're stone cold, and Coach Steve Doan just said to his team, you know, you've got to just get out there and do it. There's no more talking about it. Get out there and do it. And you couldn't give better advice right now, because the Heat are just stone cold. They just can't continue to play like that. They'll get blown out, Bob. And I didn't think they would get blown out in such an important game like this.
Well, Chris, you were talking with Mike Homick at halftime, and he said he hoped to finish 30 points ahead in this game, and they're headed that way.
Yeah, he didn't seem to think there was any reason why they couldn't finish 30 up against this Heat side.
Okay, King gets a little pass from Krishna and knocks down the shot. 18-point deficit, 7 minutes left to play in the third period. Season for the North Harbour Heat is on the line here. They're 8-7. It's such a good start to the season. Oh, Kareem Johnson on a follow-up. Just puts it back in the hole.
There were 3 Heat players there. Not one of them made body contact to box Kareem Johnson off the boards. And consequently, he got an easy basket.
Well, they've got too many guns, this Auckland Stars side. They can hit you from all different angles.
Well, they're making a statement to me right now, Bob. They're saying they are the defending champions. The championship goes through the Auckland Stars.
Yeah, they just look so composed, so calm. Even though the last 2 times up the floor, Lodich and King have made a good pick and roll move. King is connected on two shots.
Well, last year, this time of the season, we did see a marked improvement from the Auckland Stars defensively, and we saw them concentrating. Kenny Stone, I can remember talking to him, rebounding and defense were his 2 keys leading into last year's playoffs, and I think we're starting to see that come through with this Auckland Stars team tonight.
That's a good comment, Chris. I think it's becoming a hallmark of Kenny Stone coached teams. They start a bit slowly, but they just sort of relentlessly build toward the end of the season. And Tate just waves it bye-bye as it drops through. 3 points.
You know, and that's the thing about the Stars game tonight. We've said it a couple of times. The inside game is strong. The outside game is strong. And that is coupled with their good defense, that is a difficult thing to play.
And Boucher's smiling. He knows he got the best of Lodich. Lodich is just absolute 100% frustrated because he's had super glue all over his uniform for the night.
Well, you know, Matt Lodich has got to know that Dylan Boucher has got to be one of the premier defenders that he's going to come up with anywhere. I don't care whether he plays anywhere else in the world. Dylan Boucher's up there.
Yeah, Boucher, known as Robin Hood, left chuckling there at the end of that one. Lodich, this time it's Tate hitting him. Tate thought he got nothing but the basketball, but Lodich is going to get a couple of free throws out of it. And now the deficit is 21 points.
Well, here we go. Prem Krishna looks. Lodich goes down the lane. And I think Lindsay was more disappointed with his effort not getting back defensively rather than the foul. He did foul him. There's no 2 ways about it.
Oh, he did. He probably left a couple of bruises on his wrists.
A calling card.
Indeed. Well, it worked. Lodich, more frustration for Lodich.
Well, and you got to say, as a coach, you always say to yourself, that was a good foul because he missed the first one. You know, if he only gets 1 or 2 or he misses both of them, that was considered a good foul.
Well, he's got 1 of 2, so Lodich's frustration continues. The Stars well in control here. Still a 20-point spread. Remember, it was 13 at halftime, and they came out firing in the third period and immediately built it into a 20, 21-point lead. The Heat are certainly working hard, but nothing is dropping. Not consistently anyway. Tate misses a shot, and look at Homick. The big man misses the putback, 2 of them, in fact. But he's just playing such a great game. Krishna misses.
It's just not going, is it, for the Heat?
Well, now the Heat are hounding, double-teaming Tate, trying to get the ball off him, but he just brings it up over halfway.
It's different seeing them, the Heat that is, running a lot of man-to-man. Not so much zone this game.
And Lodich is calling for the ball every time. Pulls up, shoots it, and again another miss. Goes in and tries to tie up Kareem Johnson. And look at this. Homick will do anything, even bring the ball over halfway if you let him do it. 4:18, time ticking away here in the third period. Johnson is fouled by Lodich.
Well, you could see that one coming, Jeff.
Yeah.
It was a mismatch.
That was a straight mismatch, and Lodich had no hesitation in foul. Here we go. Kareem Johnson, look how deep he is in the lane. Lodich had no option but to foul. And you know, when you're down that deep with a big man, it's too hard, Bob. It really is too hard to defend.
It is indeed, Jeff. With 4:13 left to play in the third period, the Heat have taken another timeout. They're down 57-37, 20-point spread. And their season just slipping out of their grasp. 8-7. This game is a must-win for them if they're going to have a shot at a semifinal place.
Offensively, you got to push it hard. Right now, we're in slip. Got it? We're in slip. Any questions on that? All right, get some water. We got to keep our brain on and play.
Well, wasn't that great comments by Steve Doan? You've got to keep your brain on and play.
Yep.
And we've got to keep pushing the ball offensively. And, well, look, you've got the score there. They're 20 down. They have to do that.
Well, they must. They've got to play good defense. That means they've got to play a thinking game the whole way. The shots will fall. If one or two players get hot, it could turn things around. But first of all, they've got to play smart defense. And too often they've given up offensive rebounds, second and third shots to the Stars. That's killed the Heat tonight.
But I thought it was interesting that the coach said, well, you know, your brain has got to stay in it. Because, like, you know, obviously he thinks mentally the Heat haven't done their job. And that could mean defensively, offensively. You know, they're just not in the game mentally. And, you know, that's one way of trying to get the team back, Will.
Look for that on switch.
Well, 58 points now for the Stars. And normally that would be an end-of-game score against someone like the Heat. So their defense has really slackened off a little bit, or is it good offense from the Stars, Jeff?
Well, I think it's just great execution from the Stars. I think, you know, Toops, you've played on championships teams with me. Right now, this stage of the season, the Stars are saying to themselves, we're in championship mode now. You know, they can finish first or second, but they're now preparing for the playoffs. And mentally, this is a game that they're doing.
Well, a good sign for the Stars fans. Casey Frank is back in the game. He comes in after having sprained his ankle. He looks all right. He commits a foul going against Charlton, trying to stop a three-point attempt. A meter beyond the three-point arc. Picks up the foul.
Here we go right here. Charlton takes him off the dribble. Ball face takes him off the dribble. And Casey took the fake.
Good defense from Lindsay Tate, forcing the Heat to work just to get the ball in bounds. Charlton back to Dan Ryan, who's not a three-point shooter. Goes into the lane, kicks it out, and Bradshaw barely draws iron, and Tate is off to the races. Boucher, what a nice move.
Well, super athletic move on the run from Dylan Boucher.
Robin Hood. And Charlton counters with a three of his own. 61-40, 21-point lead to the Stars. 3:19 left to play in the third period, and G.I. Joe is going to give, I think, Mike Homick a spell.
Well, it's things like the last Mark Bracewell's shot. Like, you know, he shot the ball. He shouldn't have shot it. He should have moved the ball a bit around and get it to one of the shooters. And then the Stars are off to the races.
Well, they've got so many options, outside, inside. Charlton has to hold Glenn Joe, commits a foul. So Charlton now goes to, we'll just check this for you. Foul's beginning to mount up for the Heat. Charlton's on three, King's on three, and only Casey Frank has three for the Stars.
Well, that's too tough, isn't it? Look, Glenn Joe, a point guard, getting into the lane like that off the dribble, and Charlton was just left flat-footed.
Yeah, he's probably one of the tallest point guards in the league. Very athletic, Glenn Joe. Tall black trialist for this year. He has been a squad member or trialist in the past. And he's made his way back there, along with 4 or 5 of his teammates, Jeff.
Yeah, but the Stars are loaded with Tall Blacks, aren't they? They've got 1, 2, 3. In fact, all 5 of the Stars that are on court right now are all going to the Tall Black trials. And so that just says the quality of their program.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's tough to beat a team loaded with Tall Blacks and breakers. Joe makes the 2 free throws at 62-40. Makes 1 of 2, excuse me. 22-point lead and under 3 minutes to play in the third period. Charlton is held by Aaron Olsen before he gets up the shot. Basket won't count. Ball will be taken out of bounds. That, I believe, will be the 4th team foul. So shooting fouls from now on for the Heat. Lodic replacing Jared Kenny. So the 2 3-point experts, Charlton and Lodic, in the game for the Heat. It's almost last-ditch effort.
I was just going to say, because Jared Kenny, he's their pure point guard. And he's had to take a seat on the bench. That means either Prem Christian or Lodic will handle the point. And with both of them handling the point, that means they both have to do the ball-carrying duties and look to score as well.
Well, a feature of the game has got to be the Stars' defense. Lodic has had to work so hard for his 13 points. Double-teamed every time he gets the ball up top.
Well, every possession, the Stars are just mad dogs on defense. They really have turned it up. Turn the heat up. Pardon the pun.
Tate gets it into Boucher, who kicks it out. Casey Frank against Mike King. Little fake, double pump. Shot partially blocked. It goes off Krishna.
Well, you know, there was this person will remain anonymous, but someone said to me before the game that they thought the Auckland Stars were playing bad basketball in the last month. Now, I don't know what that man was watching or what he's on, but he's obviously not watching the Auckland Stars we're watching.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Couldn't have had his eyes open. Tate, nice little move inside, gets another 2.
And he was a basketball expert.
Tate on 13. Homick has 17. Johnson has 15 coming off the bench. And Lodic has worked so hard for his 13. Krishna from a long way out misses once again. His shot statistics are not particularly good tonight.
Oh, look at the hustle of the Auckland Stars. They competed twice for that basketball.
Push your hands, guys. Push your hands.
Now, these are guys that are wanting to go to the playoffs. These are guys, to me, that want to win this league again, Bob. They really are playing with that intensity.
Yes, they are, Jeff. They're making a real statement tonight. Rest of the league, beware. The Stars are just getting stronger and stronger.
Well, I talked to Casey Frank briefly before the game, and he wanted it to end it for the Harbour Heat tonight. He wanted to put them out of their misery and, you know, get on with next week's job of the last round of the NBL.
Funny you say that, because after he talked to you about that, he said, oh, and by the way, I want to put the Titans out of their misery next week as well. He is fired up, ready to go for the playoffs. Big man, Casey Frank.
Sheer aggression, or is that humanitarian instincts from Casey Frank? Put them out of their misery.
Oh, super.
Oh,
Did not hit the floor. Celtic style.
That's exactly
Boston
what I was
Celtic
going to say,
style.
too.
Fast break basketball. You got to love it.
The Heat just have no answer to the Stars. It's 67-40, 105 left to play in the third period, and the Heat have called timeout.
Well, watch this. Toops, you said it didn't touch the floor. Well, we'll see the end of it with Lindsay Tate finishing it. But they got the defensive rebound. They made one pass up to half court, the other pass to Lindsay Tate finishing off there. That was a beautiful basketball play, Toops.
Was Lindsay Tate just showing his athletic skills once again.
He just seemed to go up and up and up. And as a result, it's a 67-40 game. The Stars with 13 turnovers. Probably more than they'd like to give up. Free throw shooting percentage. Doesn't matter. It's not very good, but it does not matter in the context of this game. Defense has won it for them. They have forced the Heat into lots of turnovers, and they've taken them right out of their shooting game. Players like Lodic and Charlton just can hardly even get free for a three-pointer, let alone a two-pointer or a drive. Superb effort. Well, manufactured by Kenny Stone, the coach.
Yeah, I was just going to say, on behalf of the Heat, I think they really have shown us in this league that they can be competitive. And, you've got to put that down to the organisation, down to the coaching. It's been good because the Heat have never been this competitive for a long, long time.
Just hounding them. All kinds of pressure from the Stars. 24-second violation. Just fantastic defense.
That's the second one too. The Auckland Stars defense has really just ground a great offensive team into the ground.
It's just marvelous. You have to stand up and applaud the Stars. The defensive effort is amazing.
Well, you being from Michigan would know, Bob, that defense wins championships.
Absolutely. Dare I say it again, blue-collar basketball, Jeff. Lodic gets the two. Now the noise here. The Stars fans love it. 70-42 as Tate misses the left-hand layup, but he's fouled in the act of shooting.
Well, he was always going to take that last shot, Lindsay Tate. 7 or 8 seconds on the clock as he crossed the timeline. And to his left hand, straight down the rack, the hole there, and gets a bit of contact along the way. Excellent way to finish this third quarter.
Well, Lindsay Tate is so quick off the dribble. He gets half a step, and that's all he needs. He's got long arms. He protects the ball well, and he's developed into a good shooter with either hand off the drive.
And look at those stats for Lindsay Tate. They were great.
Yep. Great callback prospect, Lindsay Tate. Charlton just at the buzzer, doesn't beat it. The shot doesn't drop anyway. So at the end of three quarters, it's 72-42.
Monday, an FW exclusive.
When it comes to men, Adam always picks a winner.
Some girl you were partying with last night claims she's been sexually assaulted.
Bad Boys Baby Bonanza.
You've got 2 baby boys.
I'm a bloody father!
Plus,
Do I sit back and pray that God bless the father? Since when did I ever leave anything to chance?
Who the hell do you think you are?
Tanya Turner, sweetheart.
Footballers' Wives return Monday, 9:30, TV2.
Big brands, low price. We've got it! Save $100 on this F&P laundry package. Now just $1,099. Plus, get 18 months interest-free and deferred payments till December 2006. Retrovision, we've got it!
Dad's always been there. He's every time that something's happened, he's always been there for me.
He was a very, very good rugby player.
Extremely physical, but he always was. I mean, you know, he had the world record for the shoveling coal, and
he's got the heart of a roomy tree.
He's really involved in helping people around the community.
He's as honest as the day is long.
Grandpa makes me happy because he's funny.
He's quite religious, and I don't hold that against him. He's just a good, genuine guy.
And he's been affected by depression. I'm Les. Know me before you judge me.
Mental illnesses, including depression, bipolar disorder, and schizophrenia, affect 1 in 5 New Zealanders. They can live great lives, but with understanding, they can do even more.
You know why so many people like the taste of Subway sandwiches? It's simple. They only put on what you like the taste of. Every Subway sandwich is made fresh right in front of you, so you choose all the ingredients. The meat, the veggies, the sauces, the fresh baked bread, everything. No wonder so many people are leaving the burger joints and coming over to the great taste of Subway subs. Because when you really think about it, they don't make the sandwiches, you do. Subway, eat fresh.
TV2 aims to maintain broadcasting standards. If you feel TV standards have been breached and would like to lodge a formal complaint, please write to Formal Complaints, TV2, PO Box 3819, Auckland.
Did you have something to do with this?
Yep.
Can you really help our kids drink more milk?
Yep.
But how?
By making milk taste yummy.
What about the colors? Are they natural?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the flavours too?
Sure are. Now do you believe us?
It's good enough for me.
Hey, kids.
Nesquik naturally makes milk fun.
Mum, when somebody sneezes, you say bless you, right?
Right.
But what are you supposed to say when somebody coughs?
Robitussin.
Robitussin has a product for every type of cough.
Robitussin.
No. Oh, I don't know where she is. Is it the one with the red? Yeah, I've got it. Oh, look, if she ever walked into this office, I think all of us would fall over and die. Yeah, we should tell him that one.
New from Fantastic, Soho's rice snacks. With less than 10% fat, they taste naughty, but they're not.
Hair loss affects over 30% of men and women, but you can do something about it. Clive Clinic's natural hair gain methods for results you can see. So get some good advice before it's too late. Visit their website or call now. It's time to feel good.
When a new floor covering is installed, walk the walk and feel the difference. Talk the talk with Murray Charteris, flooring specialists. We have top brands on display. Look at the choice. Feel the quality. Murray Charteris Limited, flooring specialists.
Welcome back. What you're witnessing here is a team destined to be in the finals, we think. The Stars are just playing so well. They led by 7 at the end of 10. They led by 13 at halftime. And in the third period, they outscored the Heat, get this, 27-10, and now have a 30-point lead.
Well, we said, didn't we, Bob, that we didn't think this was going to be a blowout because of the fact that this was the game the Heat needed to win. Their season is gone. Their history. So, you know, all they can do in this fourth quarter is, you know, play for a bit of pride. But, you know, it's been very, very difficult for them.
Well, indeed, in the penultimate round, 1 to go, the Heat fade.
Well, here we go. You know, we talked about it. For the latest NBL scores, all you've got to do is get on your mobile phone. Text Primo NBL to 3320, and you'll get all the latest scores. As I said before, Bob, I do it all the time.
Hey, it's a bargain. It's a bargain.
It's a bargain.
You statistics nuts. Get on your cell phones and start punching those numbers.
Because it's 20 cents a text, so it's not a lot. You don't have to ask mum or dad if you've got your own mobile phone book.
If you're over 18. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Final 10 minutes of the season. Well, not really, but effectively for the season for the Heat, because this loss, I think, is going to put them right out of the hunt for a playoff place. Sad though it is, the Stars have really put the pressure on them.
Because they have played a good brand of basketball that's been exciting for us all to watch.
Well, they have indeed. Charlton misses another 3, symptomatic of the whole game, and Cartwright has the shot partially blocked, but this one goes in. So let's give 2 to Casey Frank.
Why not? Give him another 2. Joe out front, running their triangle offense.
Lindsay Tate just hesitating. The pick comes over, and it's a mismatch. Tate against King. Little whoop-de-doo down the lane. He's just so good with that little head fake out front.
Well, the thing you got to like about that is, I mean, sitting here, I knew where he was going to go. He was going to go to the rack and attack the basket. I think everybody in the stadium knew, and yet he was still able to get there. I mean, obviously, Mike King was marking him, but just you feel like he's got that much ability that he can just do what he wants.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Chris. Now, did you know he was going to go right instead of left? That's the key to this. We knew he was going to go to the toast rack.
Yeah. Poor old Mike King thought he had lead in his boots because he just couldn't do anything to move to try and stop Lindsay Tate.
Well, King ends up with a shot. He can't put it down. It's a 2-on-1 fast break. And Reese Cassidy throws a bad pass, and the Heat back at the other end. Charlton is fouled, and he's had a bit of super glue stuck to him as well all night.
Well, you know, Brent Charlton, he has been able to get a lot of shots off. The problem is he hasn't shot the ball well. Okay, there he goes, his fellow Canadian Kiwi mate, Aaron Olsen. But, you know, I think that's Brent Charlton's weakness in his game. He can't put the ball to the floor that well.
Yeah, I think the Stars have been trying to wallpaper him with a Stars jersey. Just has not been a happy night. Dallas Pickering enjoying the last few minutes of the game here. 8 minutes and 30 seconds to go, in fact. 72-44. 28-point deficit. The Heat, well, the embers are dying.
Well, we've had a lot of comments about this man on screen there, Brent Charlton. Toops, you know, you've been a Tall Black. You know the defensive pressure you come under. Is this kid going to make the Tall Blacks this year?
I don't think he's ready yet. No, I don't think he's ready yet. He hasn't shown me enough anyway. But it'll be interesting to see how he goes in the environment with the other sort of top echelon of New Zealand players. Once you put him in a team with those kind of guys and the style, not sure, but I don't think he's going to make the team this year.
Cassidy, nice drive to the hoop, misses a shot. The Heat come away with it. Kenny knocks it out. Charlton, he's got one. They won't start yelling just yet. That makes it 72-48. 24-point spread. Glenn Joe directing traffic out front.
Well, let me make a bold prediction. The Heat won't win this one.
Oh, Jeff, that's...
I don't know.
Taking a bit of a risk.
Oh, I'm just stepping out there, Bob.
Okay. You big risk taker. I bet you're a high roller in the casino as well.
Roulette table.
Lodich gives it up to Charlton on the baseline. Good defense from Glenn Joe. Didn't give up the shot. Lodich finds King, who goes up against Casey Frank, draws a foul, and King gets 2 free throws. And there's a pensive Steve Doan sitting on the bench.
Well, here we go. We see nice pass by Matt Lodich inside to Mike King. But he's coming up against the big leaper in Casey Frank. He was all over him.
Well, 7:16 left to play in the ball game. 72, the Stars, and chasing the Heat on 49.
Yeah, the offensive end, let's execute better. They forced us into up-tempo. We're getting deteriorated. Settle down. Don't let them force us into things we don't want to do. All right, we can't stand with the ball out there. Okay, we got to keep moving. I want to go blue. Who's executing blue? All right, let's execute again. All right, defensively, let's not give up anything easy. Keep working hard and battle.
Well, yeah, those comments by Coach Kenny Stone tell me he's getting ready for the playoffs. I don't care whether there's 2 or 3 weeks left in this season, Bob. He is getting ready for the playoffs. He just said, don't worry about the score. I want to see good execution offensively. And defensively, I want to see you playing good defense. That tells me he's ready for the playoffs. He's getting his team ready.
You're absolutely right.
Well, I think his players are ready too, Bob. You know, individually, they're playing standout defense, and collectively as a team, we're seeing help. You know, people get beat. Playoff time, it's what your teammates can do for you, you know, for each other. And you're seeing that from this Auckland side tonight. Everybody on that side is prepared to, hey, hustle, put their body on the line, set some screens, and help out players if they do get beat defensively. And that, to me, is the key. You know, having players willing to say, hey, for the good of the team, I'm going to jump in with you guys.
It's what I call, Bob, playoff mode. These guys are in playoff mode. I don't care what you say. The Auckland Stars are in playoff mode.
Well, okay, I think you're absolutely right. There's a great game coming up next week. It'll be Auckland versus Waikato to finish the season. 2 teams that are going to hope they're in playoff mode. I think the Stars are, and I think Waikato's probably still struggling to get that last little edge sharpened. But that'll be a cracker. That'll be a cracker.
I agree with you. It's going to be a barn burner.
Stars, time ticking away here, 7 minutes. Now they don't want to lose any cohesion.
Execution Kenny Stone wants.
And King comes over and knocks Homick down.
Well, and that's no easy feat, knocking the beastie down. Like, you know, Mike King, like, let's have a quick look at it, because, like, you know, there we got the beastie. Now he's going to post up Daryl Cartwright. He just spins straight into Mike King, and he went backwards.
He did. That's a big man. He met an immovable force. Shot misses, and Lodich up quickly, and right away he's picked up by Aaron Olson, and struggling. He finally gets a shot up, misses it, but King gets the putback. 72-52. They cut the lead now from 30 down to 20. Not enough time left. 6.5 minutes, Jeff.
Not against a team that's play as good a defense as the Auckland Stars, and as Kenny Stone says, he wants to see some execution. Not sure if that was the sort of execution he's looking at with G.I. Joe going to the basket like that, but the key is they're still going to the basket.
Well, it's out of their triangle offense here. We see the rub off, and Glenn Joe making plenty of contact there with Mike King. Smart play.
Yeah,
had him off balance a little bit, and we'll get to the line.
That's the 4th foul, I believe, on King. And Glenn Joe gets 2 free throws for his efforts. At this stage of the game, hey, that's okay. Misses the first. 1 to come. 6 minutes, 22 seconds left to play. Interestingly enough, the Heat are 6-2. 6 wins, 2 losses on this, which is considered their home court. And their last, well, second to last game, penultimate game, turns out to be a bit of a blowout.
Yeah, they're not going to be happy, Bob, with getting blown out on TV like this, and with still a shot of making the playoffs in sight.
Well, they're still working. They're still running their offense, but look at the Stars. They're making them start that offense almost out at halfway. The layup is missed, and Casey Frank gets the rebound. And Tate over halfway, quickly, easily. Guarded by the youngster, Kenny. Homick, nobody on him, so he banks a three-pointer. That does not mean putting it in the piggy bank.
We'll have to ask him later about that one. I never heard him call out glass or bank.
I didn't even hear him say anything about glass.
He did look like he put up a bit of extra mustard on that one, though.
Yes. 75-52. Daryl Cartwright against Casey Frank gives up the ball, and still Lodich working hard to get free. Misses a shot. Cartwright almost gets the putback. From the corner, Aaron Olson misses it. King saves it. Lodich steals it.
Well, the only thing that we haven't seen in this game, and can you send the message out too? Yeah, Casey Frank hasn't given us a highlight. He hasn't given us anything for the highlight.
Well, there's still 4 minutes 30 left. We've got a couple from Kareem Johnson as we get a foul called.
They're not the same, though, with that man on screen, Casey Frank, being able to slam on you.
Well, he gets up there.
Yeah, Frank wasn't particularly happy. He got an elbow in the face from Cartwright. The foul was called. Frank is still explaining.
Has he got a law degree? Has he got a law degree? He looks like he's pleading his case to the judge. Here we go. He goes for the rebound.
And Cartwright is right in his face. Joe against Charlton. Back to Tate. Aaron Olson, nice little step-back shot. Misses it. And 2 Heat players almost squabble over the ball and give it up. But the Heat come away with it. 4 minutes and a half.
Well, no call from his teammates there. Kenny loses the ball off a steal from Homick. And Frank, little finger roll off the glass.
He's wondering what he has to do to get a foul call. Cartwright saves the ball. King has it up top. And Lodich still working off the glass. It's no good. And Homick cleans the glass. Long pass ahead to Olson, and they'll use up a bit of time. Just 4 minutes and counting down here. Big win to the Stars. Turnaround jumper doesn't go down. King gets the rebound. shooting has gone off for the Stars, but it does not matter. They still have a 25-point lead, 77-52. A hiding, you'd call it. Lindsay Tate gives it up. Aaron Olsen out to the corner and back to the top, and they'll burn off a bit more time.
Oh my goodness. Mike King just about had his ankles broken right there too.
Well, it was a little, that's his move. Lindsay loves that move. A little jiggle with the shoulders, and he was away. One dribble all the way to the lane. Signed again with the breakers, Lindsay Tate.
Well, watch this too. Look at this. Lindsay Tate, boom. Mike King didn't even know what he was experiencing then, because Lindsay Tate just threw the head fake and went straight to the lane. That was beautiful.
Well, Mike King was texting his feet saying, move. It was too late.
Every single
message didn't arrive in time, and Tate gets it too. You can see the dejection on the faces of the Heat players. They won't be happy with how they've played this game. The shooting percentage has just let them down. Shooting 31%. It climbed to 37 at halftime, but has fallen back to 31. 6 of 20 off three-point attempts. And the Stars still shooting 52% overall. 23 turnovers the Heat have, and 15 for the Stars. And the Stars have capitalized on many of those turnovers by scoring off them. A couple of new players into the game for the Stars. Kareem Johnson back in the ball game, and number 7 that's still in perfect tape. Krishna took the ball just too far. Gets his own tip in off the missed layup. And Glenn Joe pretty steady on the dribble out front. Time running down. Under 3 minutes to play now. Kareem Johnson makes a lot of room with that elbow, swinging it around, and missed the shot.
Yeah, he certainly did make some room with his elbows, and Dallas Pickering, it was easy for Dallas to call that one. He's had a couple of hard weeks being criticised by myself, Dallas, so you got a good one there, Dallas.
Well, he was in a good mood before the game started, and that's a good sign. 2.5 minutes to play now. 79-54. Still 25-point lead. It's Stars. Stars all the way.
Still executing their half-court offense. Hommick. Why not shoot it, Hommick? Again, he goes off the glass.
If you do get to talk to Hommick after the game, ask him or tell him he needs the cool glass. You just can't go off there.
That was it.
Baskets.
The jump hook off the glass that time.
Well, what that means is if he was shooting from the side, the last 2 shots would have been air balls. Krishna. The putback goes to Daryl Cartwright off the miss by Krishna. 81-55, under 2 minutes to play. And a very disappointed North Harbour Heat team sees their season come crashing down here. Such a good start to the season, 8-7 coming into this ball game. They're going to finish tonight with 8 losses, 8 wins, and nothing but planning for 2006 left, Jeff.
Well, I think they've achieved a lot more than what other people around the league thought they would, and that's because of that man on screen. He's done a tremendous job coaching-wise with the talent that he had available.
And the size, the height.
And the size that they had in their basketball team. He's done a tremendous job. So you've got to take your hat off to Coach Steve Doan. He's done a tremendous job with this.
And don't forget a key loss, a player of the caliber of Hayden Allen, who just brings so much energy to this team. He's been out for about the last 8 ball games. Krishna feeds Dan Ryan, who gets the 2.
Well, it's garbage time now, isn't it? In terms of for the Stars.
Keep our streets clean.
Yeah, they've got to get some youngsters in, try and get a bit of court time.
Yeah, it's street sweeper time. 81-58, 102 to play. The Stars is playing a little loosely. Mistakes creeping into the game, but it doesn't matter. Most of their starters now on the bench. Jared Kenny is fouled. Got Glenn Joe in the air.
Well, I'm really happy with my bold prediction. When the Stars were only 20 up, I said they would win, Bob. It was bold.
Well, Jeff, it was so courageous of you to call that one at that stage. I've got to take my hat off to you. Jared Kenny in the Tall Black squad now on the free throw line, shooting a couple. As time under 1 minute to play now. And the Auckland Stars have got to be tabbed the hottest team in the league. Their record goes to 12-5, comfortably sitting at the top of the NBL right now. Kareem Johnson does a waltz, and there is no call.
Well, I think by my calculations, the Stars can't finish lower than second right now, even if they did lose next week to the Titans, which I don't believe they will.
Nice little steal from Dan Ryan. And the Heat are making a few steals, forcing a bit of few turnovers here. Krishna spins, goes baseline, and has to give it up. Ryan from the three-point line, he's got it. Soft touch.
Yeah, soft touch, too little, too late. You can say it all, Bob, can't you? 17-odd seconds to go.
Yep, 20 points to lead. 15 seconds and counting down, and Glenn Joe is putting on a little dribbling exhibition. Has it taken away by Brent Charlton, who goes down and makes it two.
Yeah,
18
the other thing that's been good for the Heat here, they've got in a nice crowd tonight, and that's good for Harbour basketball. I think it's been good all round, apart from the fact they got blown out. But Kenny Stone right there, they've got to be very happy. The Auckland Stars, as I said before, are in championship mode, Bob, and they're looking very ominous.
Oh, indeed, Jeff. 81-63. Score finishes up an 18-point lead to the Auckland Stars, and Kenny Stone has got to be a very satisfied coach. And doesn't he do well? He plans very, very astutely for each game. His players are starting to execute in exactly the way he wants them to. And he's building toward the semifinals and possible final berth. Repeat champions, possibly in 2005. We're good courtside. Chris Tupu is going to be down there talking with, I think it's going to be Lindsay Tate. So remember, 81-63, and I think that just about does the Harbour Heat.
Well, solid win for you guys in the Battle of the Bridge, Lindsay. But your defense heading into this game, how important is your D at this time of the season?
It's probably the most